Have you ever heard the phrase, beat the heat? Or have you experienced being in so much heat up to the point that you just want to stay inside a refrigerator? You may have, because here in the Philippines, our tropical climate either gives a hot or a cold weather. Nevertheless, the heat that we may have experienced before is nothing compared to El Nino or El Nino Southern Oscillation. Good day! My name is Christian Benby Carandang, a mechanical engineering student of Mapua University. I am here to present my talk about El Nino for our course Science, Technology, and Society. Firstly, what is El Nino? According to Carandang in 2015, El Nino is a climate phenomenon that occurs when a vast pool of water in the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean becomes abnormally warm under normal conditions. The warm water and the rains it drives are in the western Pacific. Also, it must be taken note that El Nino occurs every few years. Its most direct impacts are droughts in normally damp places in the eastern Pacific, such as part of Indonesia and Australia, while normally drier places like the west coast of South America suffer floods. El Nino might not sound scary or catastrophic, but this kind of natural calamity are one of those catastrophes that slowly eats a nation until everyone realized that it was already swallowed all at once. Now, let us view the effects perpetrated by El Nino. El Nino produces important consequences for people and ecosystems across the globe. The interactions between the oceans and atmosphere alters weather around the world and can result in severe storms or mild weather, drought offsite, link, or flooding. Beyond just influencing the weather, these changes can produce secondary results that influence food supplies and prices, forest fires, and create additional economic and political consequences. Famines and political strife can result from these environmental conditions. World Health Organization claimed that severe drought or El Nino is associated to food security, flooding, rains, and temperature rises due to El Nino are causing a wide range of health problems including disease outbreaks, malnutrition, heat stress, and respiratory diseases. Having said this, there are so many consequences that can be faced because of this phenomenon. Now, let us look in the Philippine setting. Since early 2015, more than 40% of the Philippines has been experiencing severe drought triggered by El Nino, causing the loss of agriculture production amounting to $80 million. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies recently released an information bulletin on the drought and dry spells. The province of Cebu, located in Visayas, is just one of 37 provinces currently under a state of calamity due to the drought. Now, as El Nino slowly loosens its grip, the possibility of La Nina, which is expected to hit country in July, presents even greater concern. Pushing forward, let us look at individual cases of people to show the real effect of this phenomenon. This cornfield in San Remedios, Cebu is just one of the many fields damaged by the extreme heat brought by El Nino. The Philippines Department of Agriculture estimated that around 182,000 farmers have been affected by the drought. Meanwhile, the drought affected water supplies and the livelihoods of several towns in Cebu. The Philippine Red Cross has distributed over 717,000 liters of water using its water tankers and food pack to around 90,000 families in several provinces. We can look at this photo of a farmer from the town of Tambawan, San Remedios in Cebu shows this season poor corn harvest. While over 50% of farmers in the Philippines plant rice, 38% plant corn and another 8% plant high-value crops such as eggplant, squash, or tomato. Lastly, after rice, corn is the second most important food crop in the Philippines. With expected arrival of the La Nina phenomenon following El Nino, stronger monsoon and excessive rainfall may result in flooding, which would cause further damage to crops and hinder replanting. What are implied in these photos? Simply, the grave impacts brought about by El Nino. As individuals, there is nothing we can do to stop El Nino events from occurring. The year-to-year oscillation between normal, warm, and cold conditions in the tropical Pacific associated with ENSO cycle involve massive redistribution of upper ocean heat is a normal phenomenon, meaning to say, it's just science. But there are things we can do in order to alleviate and mitigate its effects, and it must be given attention and great priority. How can we and the government intervene with this phenomenon? Firstly, for irrigated agricultural lands, the Department of Agriculture should coordinate with the NIA for better management of agricultural waters. Information, education, and communication activities have also been conducted among farmers to employ water-saving techniques such as synchronous planting, which make irrigation more efficient. More cloud seedings operations should be conducted in watershed areas of Angat, Magat, and Pantambangan dams and other areas with standing crops that need irrigation water. Furthermore, to address a comprehensive risk management strategy for various sectors, it is necessary to know the threat as well as the vulnerability. Mitigations and intervention plans are important as they act as a catalyst for action. Months are critical windows to mitigate the impact of El Nino in the Philippines. Thus, we must increase preparedness within the localities most affected so far. In beating the heat, preparedness must be assessed. This is the conclusion. Thank you for listening.